Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Nerdsplaining Podcast. My name is Eric Da Silva. With me, as always, my co-host, Jose
What
Romero.
it is, what it is. Couple weeks off due to scheduling situations, but we're glad to be
We
back
could
here.
call it summer vacation that
Sure,
we had. Maybe
vacation.
that's
Why
it.
not? What
Yeah.
the hell? But we're back. It's Nerd Thursday, the day to be. A lot of
The
stuff wrapping
recap
up.
in the Geek in week, yes,
Yeah, it's gonna be like a big
or the
recap
week
because
in Geek
yeah,
backwards.
there hasn't been
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of stuff dropping, so we're kind of gonna do some speculation. We got Comic Con coming up. We're gonna do an early Comic Con show early next week, kind of recap what's going on.
tons of recapping of
Yeah.
all the stuff that just finished that we didn't get to.
Yes.
Yes, there's a lot of
A
stuff,
lot of
and I
stuff.
mean not a lot of stuff, but a lot of reviews or opinions that hot takes if
Hot
there is
takes,
every
sure.
once in a
There's
while.
always hot takes. Those are the best takes.
Sure,
Um,
absolutely.
so we're gonna start with like a little Marvel sandwich. Marvel being the bread, so we're gonna start with Marvel, end with Marvel, we'll fill in the
Sounds
between.
good.
So yeah, let's go with Thor, right? Thor:
Yeah,
Love and Thunder. I saw this last
Love
week.
and Thunder.
I assume you saw it. Of course you did.
I took
Hello.
the kids to the 4DX, and I
The
took my mom because my mom
4DX.
specifically said, "Oh, you guys are gonna go see Thor? I want to go," and I didn't realize it until that flick, and my mom's like,
I was
"Yeah,"
about
and
to
I was
say.
like,
I was
"All right."
about to mention there's a reason why she's going. I mean,
Not to be inappropriate, but she's 69 years old and she's living up to that number, my friend. She is like, all right, mom, relax.
listen, I get it. I mean, Chris Hemsworth. What are you gonna say? All right, I'm not gonna hate that guy. The guy's a stud.
Listen,
I
no part of
wish.
me is mad at her.
Right?
I totally
I
get it.
get
That
it.
dude is a living
I
superhero at this point.
absolutely get it. No problem with that. I understand. Um, so let's talk about this because obviously it's been out for a little bit, and I know when I first saw it, we texted back and forth that night. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was. I don't remember if I said top tier two or just tier two. I don't.
Top two,
Okay,
right?
top two.
Top tier
Top tier
two.
two.
Yes.
I think a B
Mhm.
plus was the number
B
we were
plus is what
talking.
you said. Yes.
So I kind of sat on a little bit longer that, and I've gone down to a B. I've gone down to a low tier two, mid tier two for me.
You know
After
what?
sitting on it, I was like, it's a couple things that would bother me, and I just the more I thought about it, the more they kind of lingered. Still enjoyable, still liked it, but
You know what? I watched it with the kiddos. We went to the whole thing. They loved it. Little side note: because of Thor: Love and Thunder, when I played Dungeons and Dragons with my kids, as I do when I'm with them, I used for the big action sequence. I used five Guns N' Roses songs to score their adventure, and they loved it. Because let me tell you something: you when you start off the action sequence with "You Can Be Mine" and you end it when you're fighting the big bad with "Welcome to the Jungle," everything's possible. There's just all 18s and 19s and 20s being rolled. It's just something about the music. It
listen,
pulls it
there's
off. It's
nothing ever wrong with a movie featuring a bunch of Guns N' Roses songs. In fact,
and
I think if it wasn't Guns N' Roses, it could have been a tier three. I mean, just
yeah,
that's how
you know what? Here, but
Just saying.
here's the thing. I actually I had to process the movie because I had to think: did I like it because Guns N' Roses was in it, or did I like it because it was good
Fair.
and Guns N' Roses? So after thinking about it, I have to agree with you. It is a B. It is a B level movie, which is not
It's
bad.
not bad.
Here's the thing: it is the best movie. It is the most I've liked a well done movie. Like I really liked it, but it wasn't great. It was a very well done movie, but it wasn't the best movie. But I enjoyed it more than what the movie was. That makes
That's
sense?
fair. That's fair. And like I said, even I told you, I still enjoyed it. I just because I think we both, and I'm looking now, I wrote down we did the Price is Right, and boy, we were both just way off. I think I just shows
Yeah,
expectations we had, rightfully so. Ragnarok was fantastic,
rightfully
Taika's
so,
great,
because Ragnarok is
right? So I
right.
had 94, you had 90. Not it was so close. I think it's like 68 or 69 right now.
And you know what?
So I get
I
it.
think that's a little bit of a harsh review of it on that 68,
I mean,
69.
that's
I
it's
would
close to
have put
seven
it
out of
in its
10. I'm
80s.
okay
It
with
would have
that.
been eight. Like I would have been like, if it would have hit like 82, that would be where I'm at. It's like an 82 for
Right,
me.
but listen, 7 out of 10 critics, whatever that's worth. But obviously, it wasn't beloved, right? Like we thought it was going to
Right,
be,
right.
right?
And from me, the way I took it was, here's the thing. I don't know about you, but I loved the third act of the movie. Like literally, maybe it's because I'm a dad, but when
Fair
Thor
enough.
bestowed all those kids the power of Thor temporarily, and like I was in. I was like, this is great. I'm not even gonna lie, got a little misty eyed. It was a great. Like I really enjoyed the whole third act. Jane dying of cancer and accepting her fate, like all that was all
That
about
part
it.
was good.
I will say the one part that kind of took seeing eternity. Holy shit! I
Oh,
never thought we would see eternity. I was like, oh wow. Um, my my problems with the my only problems with the third act was that uh I didn't like the fact that they sort of gave Gore a little bit of a redemptive arc. I would have liked him to be like in the comic books, like just straight up a god butcher.
yes.
Um, and giving him a little.
I,
Listen.
I'll say this because the expectations for listen, Christian Bale is awesome, right? We know that he's a great
Oh,
actor,
he's
and he did great with what he had. But when we
absolutely.
talk about Taika saying this is gonna be one of the greatest villains in MCU, and it's not. And I think that was the
It's
biggest
not.
issue with the film that they just completely shortchanged him. Right? I like how
Yeah.
he started. Okay, good setup, but then we see him sparingly. We don't see him killing any gods at the exception from the first one, which doesn't really count. So you don't get
Right.
that
Well,
weight and
apparently
how
they
powerful
they
and dangerous he can really be, and that's a big problem. And
they mentioned that they cut out a lot of the god murder scenes.
yeah, which that's a huge. I mean, well, it's funny because there was a Taika did an interview on a podcast a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday or 2 days ago, and apparently it was he there was a mandate that this come under 2 hours.
Okay.
So, which is part of the problem because I heard there was even scenes with what's her face, Cersei
Jeff
from
Goldblum,
Jeff
the
Goldblum, but
Lena Headey
There you go,
from Game
yeah,
of
for her,
Thrones is going to be in it.
yeah,
Eitri, which is also from Game of Thrones, the guy who played um jeez, I'm drawing a blank right now, but he played Eitri
okay. I know what you're talking
in
about. I forget his name, but yeah.
Endgame. But right, but
There's a lot. I mean, and is it Lena Headey, whatever her name is? They actually, it's funny. I heard a story where they cut her scenes out, and she was paid $7 million to pay her that
oof,
much. Not even too
wow,
sure. That's a lot, right?
wow.
But yeah, there's a lot of more you can tell got sliced here, and I think Gore the God Butcher was criminally,
Like
underwritten what they gave us, right? They didn't give us
there
enough of
should
him,
have
right? He
been
should have been
there should
awesome,
have been
right?
more scenes like when he shows up inside the kid's cage. I think that was probably the best scene of
That was a cool
Gore
scene.
the God Butcher in the whole creepy, unnerving, like a potential like real darkness. That and when they fought in the Shadow Realm are my
That
two
was a cool
favorite
scene. Yeah, yeah.
moments.
That was a cool
But
scene.
like there should have been more of that, and they should have leaned in the
Right.
butcher
I agree.
aspect of it.
And I think that redemptive arc would have had a bigger payoff, right? Otherwise, or
It's almost like seeing Vader. Like Vader's redemptive arc is only heightened by the fact that when you see him like kill all the younglings, and you're like, oh man, this guy's so evil that for his son to pull him back makes perfect sense because that would be the only person who could do it because he cast
right.
everything out and it took his own son to bring him back. And so that redemptive arc is even stronger after the fact. But it needed more.
And yeah, a
And
lot
even
more.
then, maybe don't give him a redemptive arc.
Which
Maybe
listen,
that's
I'm totally fine. They could have gone that route or just listen from the beginning. His goal was to get his daughter back, right? I think that would
right.
have added some weight. They just kind of popped in the end. This is what he wants. We were thinking he wants to destroy everything, take over. We didn't know. That's the point. It's like okay, we knew
Like
he's there and he's got
here's
a
the thing.
plan to kill
If
the
you're gonna
gods. But what was the end game besides opening whatever this thing was for the wish that he had, right? If we would have known that
right,
was his goal, I think would have made a more fascinating and layered villain,
or
right?
even better, because a lot of people are complaining about the MacGuffin aspect of like, oh well, Eternity's just a wishing well, so why didn't they use him in Endgame and save us all the trouble? They could have
Well,
just gone. So, but here's the thing: if you would have said that the only way to reach Eternity is through the Bifrost, but you needed to have the blood of gods, like it's like 100 gods, and that's why he was butchering them. To part of the spell is that the Bifrost with the blood of multiple gods. That would have been like, well, that's why they couldn't do Endgame because you needed to have murdered 100 gods, and
right.
Thor wouldn't have done
It
that.
was criminally underdeveloped, which is a shame, right?
Yeah, and
Because
so
and the
like
movie just
there's
was almost too light because it was funny. I laughed.
it was
All that stuff was there. You know.
look the first 20 minutes of the movie, mwah, chef's kiss. Everything with the Guardians of the Galaxy, dope, super great. Everything in the Shadow Realm, super great. Um, and the big fight with the kids and the final sacrifice inside eternity, great. Everything else, I felt there were moments, but it just didn't have that
Yeah.
like there's something so tight about Ragnarok where every moment leads to the next moment, and this was a lot of jumping around,
Yeah, and a lot
and
of
we're
yeah, and it
we're
leaned
like,
more into
okay, now we're
yeah, the
here.
silly aspects
Okay,
of
now
it.
we're here.
Yeah, and I think with Ragnarok he balanced because there's a lot of dark. I mean, the dad died, Asgard, went kaput, and this guy lost
Right.
his eye. So a lot of heavy material in there, and here. There's nothing really heavy for the most part, which is a lot of jokes and
And here's
okay,
and
it's
speaking
fine.
of
It's
not having
entertaining. It's
heavy,
entertaining.
speaking of the problem not having heavy, if you're gonna pretend to kill Korg and Valkyrie, one of those should stay dead. One of them should
Yes,
stay dead.
agree.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
I get it. Yeah, like I said, the movie just I don't know.
And even
It went too
Zeus
light.
was alive at
Oh,
the
I
end.
know. Oh, God, what a wait. God, this is typical Marvel. I swear to God. Whatever. Listen, I get good, fun, just not great, and I think that's just
Yeah, good and fun,
yeah.
just not great. Solid B, solid
Solid
B.
B.
But
It's not bad. It's just it wasn't obviously
so
we were thinking. Thor Ragnarok was so good. Oh, I can't. We were both. I was super excited about this
yeah,
one.
we
This
were
is the one I
both
was looking for
hyped.
the most out
Absolutely,
of all the movies
absolutely.
coming out. So listen, again, not the worst thing in the world, but good, entertaining. But there is something about Phase 4 which just hasn't really clicked for me with Marvel.
To me right
You
now,
know?
the strongest output of Phase Four movie wise has been No Way Home. That's been the best one out of all the whole Phase
Right.
Four,
Everything else is
which sucks
yeah.
because it's a Sony collab. It's not even a straight
Well,
Marvel. You
fair
figure
enough, yeah. And it's just like they just like I don't know what the end game here with this is. No pun intended. Like what where they're going with Phase 4. I know Feige talked about dropping some hints, and we may talk about something soon. Come in and talk about Miss Marvel about that. But it just seems like this is just wandering around. Even movies his own independent thing. Multiverse wasn't really anything multiverse. This is a very self-contained film with Thor, Black Widow, whatever. Shang-Chi again, very self-contained. Nothing kind of giving us a big picture of what are we building
yeah,
towards, if anything, right? That's what we're
yeah.
used to. So it's odd. I don't know what's going on, and I hope they kind of maybe Black Panther will be the one. I don't know, but that movie's had so many issues. We talked about that. I'm hesitant on that, right? Whether the casting and whether obviously no, T'Challa's gone, the whole character, the guy who I forgot his name, who was in Get Out, he's not gonna be in it. They just talked about that today.
Yeah. I just read that article
Yeah, I
too.
forget
Right.
his name, but whatever. Like all these production issues and COVID and I don't know whatever with Siri and all kinds of fucking mess. So I don't know. It's been a kind of a down time because even the shows have been good, a couple of them, but
Yeah.
nothing's been great. We haven't gotten No Way Home is as close as you can get to it. I don't think that for me I was tier 2. I think if I'm not mistaken, you could have been tier 1 for you. I don't know. I
No,
remember
it
if it
was tier
was.
one. No Way Home was tier one for me.
Okay, fair enough. But that's the only one that's really hit really
Right.
well. There's been some good stuff. Shang-Chi was good. Eternals was.
Hey, look, so to me, the best top three of Phase Four has been No Way Home, Doc Strange. I know we differ on it, but I think Doc Strange has been great, and I'm gonna put Thor only because it. I thought the first act and the third act were so good, and Shang-Chi had the problem with the first two acts are good, and the third act fell apart for
Yeah,
me.
for me,
And so because
I could interchange
I feel
it.
like Thor stuck the landing a little bit more on Shang Chi, and so I'm gonna do Spider Man, no, Multiverse of Madness, Love and Thunder. Those are my top three,
Yeah,
which
I'll
sucks
probably go
because I
Shang-Chi second and maybe Thor. But again, second and third aren't like they're like okay, it feels like consolation prizes, right? It's like okay,
yeah
I'll put Thor in there, which beats not great, it's not terrible, it's fine. But yeah, it's been I don't know, and even the shows haven't like taking the next leap. I don't know what's going on, but I mean, it's because it's been this whole Phase 4 has been weird. It just really has been
yeah
for whatever
yeah.
reason. But we'll stay optimistic because we trust
Well,
Marvel.
I
So
think if anything, this goes to show when you plan something so tightly, and then a little thing like a global pandemic happens, it messes up your quality control. And so I that's what I kind of feel like that when you're building momentum and you kind of like things have to go out at this time to make the and you drop a year and a half and you have to rebuild from scratch. It kind of really goes to show what happens where you're planning something and then something completely unexpected bananas comes out of left field and T-bones your entire plan. It really goes to show how much thought they put into it and how much you have to overplan things sometimes because in case something like this happens, you've got to have backup.
yeah,
So
it's kind of and even like things like the man. I haven't heard anything from before Marvel doing a mandate like under 2 hours. We've heard that from DC with Justice League, but not this. And that I think that really We were shortchanged with Thor at the end of the day.
I
I think
think
there's a
so.
much
I
better
think
movie in there somewhere. We're just not getting it.
I don't. And
you know?
Taika said he's not going to release a
No,
director's
he's
cut
not
because
doing.
he
Yeah,
thinks most
yeah,
director's cut sucks.
yeah.
And I'm like, I have to disagree with that. I think some director's
Some
cuts
of
are
them are better,
awesome.
but I mean, it's yeah.
Um,
He listen. He's a team player. Good for him.
yeah.
It
Oh
is
yeah.
what it is. He's a good
He's
soldier.
a team player
Fair
because he
enough.
wants to come back and do
Of
another Thor
course,
because
yeah.
even says Thor
Obviously, yeah,
return.
yeah.
So I mean, listen,
It's the payday.
he yeah, it's a
Okay.
massive
Of course,
payday,
hello, yeah.
obviously. And so, maybe not indulge. Like maybe next time they come in, they go, "Hey, we really appreciate what you did, but we're gonna set you up more like Ragnarok and less like Love and Thunder. It's gonna be a
I
little
mean,
bit
I
more
guess.
quality control, a little
Yeah, we'll
tighter."
see how it goes. I don't see a new Thor for at least 4 years, 5 years, maybe.
I'd say
At least
four.
a film might see
Four.
Thor in a film coming up or whatever,
Right.
but not
I think there'll be a Thor movie in 4 years.
4
4 years
years, yeah,
probably.
depending, yeah, because obviously they
And
got
it'll probably be
stuff
the
going.
last one. It'll probably be the last one too.
I could see that. But let's see. Listen again. Good, not great. It is what it is. Lord of the Rings. Let's go Lord of the Rings. Part of the
All right, so we're going to the meat
Marvel
now. We
sandwich.
went bread.
Yeah, one
Now we're going
bread.
to the
We're
meat.
going to some meat here because this is the.
Or is this cheese? Is this meat, cheese? Is it
This
condiment?
is
What are we talking
what do
about?
we got today? I would say this is like the tomato lettuce of the
Fair,
sandwich,
fair,
right?
fair,
Let's do that. So,
fair.
so
Sure.
yeah, so the trailer dropped today. This is one I've been excited about, and the trailer
I have not
dropped.
seen it. I didn't know it dropped. This is
Oh,
new.
you did? Oh, wow.
Did not see it.
God, texted.
Please
Okay.
tell me about it.
So yeah,
Tell me.
listen, it's clear, right? You watch the trailer. The first thing that stands out is the production is fan fucking tastic. The
Nice.
scale of the scope, the size of this, then the scenes they show you with the cities and all, oh man, it looks movie quality in terms of the
Nice.
CG and some of the cinematography. Amazing. I mean, it looks so good that I mean, I'm glad I got a big TV and all that good shit. Cause man, yeah, this is not one to watch on the phone or a tablet. That's nonsense. This needs to be as your biggest screen you have at home. Put it on. It looks. I mean, it looks fantastic. Dude. It really does.
Beautiful.
Story wise, didn't give you a whole lot. So
Well, it's the first trailer. It's just to
I think
set
the
the mood.
second one. But either way, yeah. So I was kind of hoping to get more meat because it is coming up in September.
Okay.
But yeah, so they showed us, some of the elves and yada, the dwarves and et cetera, et cetera. They didn't show no orcs, no,
Orcs
yeah,
or goblins.
anything like that. No, nothing of no villainous situations.
Right.
It looks really good. And listen, they spent a ton of money on this shit, and at least it looks like it, right? I mean, I think they paid 500 million, maybe or 250. I forget.
Yeah, it was 500
just
million.
for the rights.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think they pumped in like 200 million or more, 250 for the first season, right? Eight episodes.
Let me ask you a question. How many nights a week do you think the Token Estate has like an eyes wide shut party based on the money they got from Amazon?
There's one currently going on right now.
Everyone's dressed as orcs and
Jesus.
elves, and it's just crazy.
I have a known party, and Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So yeah, he's getting paid. That estate's getting paid. But yeah, it looks fantastic. I mean, I can only judge by the look because again, there wasn't a whole lot of story, right? But you check it out,
Sure.
man. It's very impressive, and it feels
Awesome.
so close to what we got from Peter Jackson in terms of look and
Nice.
feel of it, and so it looks and the tone. Yeah, this is gonna be top notch, and so I can't wait for this. We should all be excited. I think Comic Con will probably show us more, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Potentially, we'll find out. Let's go to the cheese. Let's go some cheese here, right? There's some cheese today on the burger. So, a couple of shows. It's a cheese and ketchup and mustard. All the little condiments and all that stuff.
All right, all the condiments
Yeah,
and the
why not?
the dairy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so it's a
Sure.
couple
Why
of
not?
shows, and
Yeah.
not because of the quads, because they're kind of past. We want to kind of revisit these and talk about them a little bit.
Sure.
So the first one, the Umbrella Academy, season
Oh.
3, just came out. We talked about the very beginning. I think we saw one episode.
We saw the first episode. We saw the first episode.
We haven't gotten to
Yeah.
circle back, so we both like what we saw. The great dance scene with Footloose and Ken.
Oh, yeah, so good.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's funny because like the second, third episode, I was like, okay, and then between the fifth on, it just picked up and it was great. It was really good.
It took off,
Yeah.
and you know what? I remember because somebody someone texted me. They're like, "You're gonna eat your words from your last episode about the budget of Umbrella Academy," and I'm like,
Oh,
"What are you talking about?" Because
that's right. Yeah.
when they start destroying the world, I'm like, "Wow, this looks great." You're right. I'm an idiot. I'm not. Like I ate crow. Like there was a budget. They were just waiting for when it mattered, and they used it great. I mean, listen, as a fan of the comic books, Hotel Oblivion is one of my favorite storylines from Umbrella Academy. So when I saw Hotel Obsidian, I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's like an homage
Right.
thing. And then you actually Oblivion. Now it is totally different in the comics because the Hotel Oblivion is a prison hotel in a pocket dimension, and then there's a prison break and they come out. So I didn't know. I was kind of hoping that, but I really enjoyed what I got with this.
Yeah.
Like
Just
Umbrella Academy is becoming their own IP. Like it is, it shares the name, it shares the characters of the comic books, but they're doing their very own thing. And you're right, from that fourth, fifth episode, it just takes off, just
yeah.
completely awesome. And the finale, once again, it left me like season three, season two left me. I was like, when is the next season? I want to know about this now. I'm really like, if you haven't seen it, watch it. We're not going to spoil too
No, we're
many
not gonna
things.
spoil too. I mean, obviously
Everyone has a moment.
everyone
Everyone
had a
is
moment.
well
Yeah.
played and deserved. Um,
We can
I
spoil a
I
little bit
will.
because it's been out for a while, for a couple of weeks.
Okay,
It's fine.
I
We don't have to spoil everything, but just hit some of the high notes, I guess. With um,
I'll say high notes. This season made me a fan of Luther. I always thought Luther was sort of like a good supporting character. I became a fan of Luther. Luther in this season reminded me of me when I was 20 and actually became reached a point in my life where women wanted to have sex with me. I was like, Luther, I get you. I feel seen
hold
by
up. You mean
you.
your 30s or I'm sorry.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? Uh, I loved the entire group of weirdos from the Sparrow Academy. I was in it to win it for all those guys. Once again, my favorite character is Five. Five continues to be kill it, but holy shit, have I truly learned to love Klaus.
Oh,
Klaus
fucking love Klaus.
keeps having these banana incredible. Like in season one, he's in Vietnam. In season two, he's a guru. And season three, he becomes a superhero. Like Klaus kills it every time. I'm always surprised how much I end up liking Klaus by the end of of a
He's
season.
so
It
good.
is so
The,
good.
that relationship between him and Hargraves, well, I guess that version of Hargraves was great, and then the swerve, right? There's this master plan that he had, yeah, and it paying off, like man, leaving us in that hook, like man, okay,
Uh huh.
what now? And I'll say this: if it wasn't for other shows we're gonna talk about, this would get more play. But as good as the
Absolutely.
show was, there's other shows which were better. They just were
Yeah.
not a knock on this show. This was great, but one thing this show did for me more than most any shows, it always sticks with always focuses on the characters, right?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
big time character moments, and I was talking about this on the watch list with my brother. The episode 8, the wedding episode,
Right.
right?
Oh, so
So
good.
good, and I like when unlike another show I talk about. I like when I do an episode like this towards the end, but not the ninth episode, right before the eighth, right? Kind of slow it
Right.
down, give us the moments, the character moments. The story wasn't driven all that much, and that's fine. But the moments were so good, and the payoffs, and that works. So I love that episode. And then you kick off with the finale, right? The two part or whatever, the last two episodes. That's
Right.
how you do it, right? But the focus, and that scene, that episode worked because what they set up and the character, everybody's got the moment five and how and, the new Ben, the new Ben or whatever, Luther and all that great. And kudos to Luther, because what he married Sloane. Oh,
Miss Sloan,
hello.
which Sloan may be number five, but she's
She's
a
number one in
hundred.
everyone's heart, so it's not concerned.
She is
And I'll
wow,
say this for the Umbrella
wow, wow,
Academy,
wow.
which hey, there's the Latiners Network, two Latin American Latin actors
That's
here. You
true.
got Diego, of course,
That's
is
true.
Mexican, and
Diego,
Sloane is Genesis Rodriguez. She's from Miami, Florida, half
I didn't know
Venezuelan, half
that,
Cuban.
but it
Yeah,
makes total
yeah,
sense.
she's Cuban and Venezuelan mix. So
Wow,
casting there,
that's
thank you, Pat, putting some folks on there. This is what we get. This is Sloane. Come on, hello,
like
bravo.
I'm gonna date myself with this, but if there was still a Maxim, she would be on it right now.
Yeah, she's there's I think her father's like a famous singer too. I forgot the name. El Puma for those who don't
Stunning.
know that.
And she killed the scene. Like
Yeah,
she literally was on Luther's level in terms of acting and delivery. Like I
she was great.
shipped them so hard, and I was like, this is great. I was such the whole thing, and I have to say this. I actually would say that Umbrella Academy is a top tier TV show for me
Oh,
because
it is.
it does
No question.
something that so many TV shows can't do, especially superhero TV shows. It paces itself
Yeah.
out. It knows how to tell just enough of a story per episode to get you into the next one, to the
Yes.
next one.
And again,
It's a
characters,
masterclass.
character
Color
building.
characters, a masterclass of pacing. They don't. There's no episode ever feels like a fluff episode.
Right.
Every episode feels like it
Yeah.
matters. That's the
No,
trick. That's the
it's
key.
really good. And this, I don't know if it's as good as season one. Maybe I'm not sure because the trend has been, and we talk about these two shows coming up. I thought were the best seasons of that show thus far. This may have. I'm not sure. I gotta. It's been a while since season one. I'm not
I
sure.
actually binged the other episodes, the other seasons to get to this one. Season 3
Yeah.
is
Okay.
on par with season 1. It just gets better and
Okay.
better.
Fair
Yeah,
enough. Yeah. It's hard to judge. Like I haven't seen
for
in a
me.
while. But
But
look, and listen for us. This is like, and it's something else to talk about on the watch list. This has been like Christmas in June and July
yeah,
because the shows
absolutely,
that we've got,
absolutely.
and God, we were getting spoiled. But geez, with this, and we'll talk about the boys in a second, and Stranger Things, and yeah, we got Thor Ragnarok that got released, and Umbrella Academy. All these shows coming out. I was like, damn, bam, bam, right after another. So much good shit. We got plenty more coming. Things like Sandman and Lord of the
Oh, can't wait
Rings
for
and
that.
Game of Thrones, and it goes on. This has been a really great time for us here. So. But let's get into it again. The other condiments, and again, not for qualities because it's been a little bit of a while. But we mentioned it. So let's talk about Stranger Things season 4, which we talked about the
Dude,
first 10 episodes, and I thought pending the final 2 episodes, this could have been one of the favorite shows of the year, and definitely the best season of Stranger Things. The finale came out, and for sure, by far, it's the best season for me. Great,
dude,
and by a hair. And I'll say this in a second, but yeah, still one of my favorite shows of the year. But yeah, what a great
season
stick in the
4 of
landing. Great
Stranger
ending.
Things, season 4 of Stranger Things is on par for me with season 4 of Breaking Bad. It is the season that went beyond expectation and stuck the landing effortlessly. It even gets a 10 from the Romanian judge. That's how boom it is. And let me tell you something. You may have your fears and concerns, but if you are not jamming out to when Eddie does Master of Puppets, you're dead inside. You have
That's a
no
good point.
soul or
That's a good
joy.
point. We had a little Guns N' Roses earlier, and we got a little Metallica. I mean,
Metallica? Oh
come on.
my God. This has been an 80s summer
That's what
of
I'm
genre
saying.
that I am so
And we
into.
talked about how we with the trailer had the scene with him and the guitar. We knew he was gonna rock out to something. It was
We didn't know what we
right.
speculate, and it was none of us called it, and it was exactly what it needed to be. It's
Oh,
great.
it was yeah, great scene. And, Eddie dying. That was it was well done. The payoff was good on that. I think I knew someone had to go. They kept talking about something
Listen,
going. It had to be him. Fair enough.
and I'll say this: the final fight, when it's the kids fighting Vecna, Hopper's fighting the Demigorgon, and one is fighting 11. It's probably an unmitigated, like sometimes the jumping between a lot of things takes you out
Yes, you're right.
and this one was
Yeah.
seamlessly. It's
Yeah.
like it was like watching a boxer do like a body blow and then a jab and then a haymaker. It was so well done, from like the references to Conan out of nowhere. Harper does a Conan reference. Oh, so good, and heartbreaking when you see Max getting her limbs broken. I
Oh
literally
man.
yelled
Yeah.
out loud,
Yeah.
"No!" Like it
You figure,
hurt.
last second save and all that. I'm like,
Oh my
nope.
God, all of that
She didn't
so
die.
good.
I can live with that. I'm fine with that.
And that taking down Vecna a la Freddy Krueger by setting him on fire in the real world, like they were there and they're shooting him and pushing him out, like blowing him out the window, and big ups to Nancy going full on post-apocalyptic shotgun blasting. I was
Oh yeah.
like, man, this chick, like,
That
she
was like Sarah
weighs a
Connor
buck
shit right there, man.
01 wet, and she's taking shotgun, blam, and not even flinching. Like, this woman has a goal. She is focused. It's yeah.
Yeah, it was just God, so good. It was just so freaking good. I can't wait for season 5, the final season, I guess. And I talked about. I think
Yeah, final
I think they're
season.
doing a
And
prequel eventually. But the Duffer Brothers won't be involved in that. They talked about that.
they talked about a spinoff
A
too, by the
spin-off. I'm
way.
sorry, not a prequel. I apologize.
Yeah.
Spin-off. Yeah, that's what I meant. They're not gonna.
Well,
They
they're gonna
won't be
work.
involved in it.
They're gonna develop. They're gonna develop. What I heard is they're gonna develop the spinoff, but then they're gonna let another team take it and
Right.
they'll just
So it won't be
produce it.
them. So whatever,
But
which is fine.
they're producing it, so they're gonna be involved. You know, the
Very, very
little
little.
things like
I know.
I
They,
do
yeah, I know they
this.
want to do other things, and I get it. This has been like I don't know 6, 7, 8 years of their lives, whatever. I mean, I can't wait leaving it off. You know, it's gonna be big. They said it won't be as many episodes the last final season, which I get because this is gonna be like the third act of the entirety of the
Right,
show,
it'll
right?
probably be instead of nine
I think like
episodes,
six or
it'll
seven.
probably be like six. But I bet you each one's gonna be like an hour and forty
I'm
five
fine with it,
minutes,
and I
so it's
hope they
practically the same.
if they're smart, space them out, right? Space them out. I like that about at least give us three, then give us a couple.
They should do sort of like Arcane, three
Yeah, that's
episodes and a break, and then three more, and
yeah,
that's
or
that.
two
And
more,
each
or
and if
two,
each one
or
is like an
whatever.
hour and 45 minutes,
Yeah,
almost 2 hours each.
yeah.
That's what you
No,
do.
that'll be great. I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, just this is one of my favorite shows of the year, easily by far. It was just so good. And at a point, it was my favorite show of the year. However, at the finish line, by a hair, photo finish, The
By a
Boys.
termite.
But it's so
By a
so tight.
termite.
And I gotta go back and watch the replay to be sure. But right now, I think The Boys just snuck past it.
I
Snuck
I
past it.
I,
So
I
let's
disagree,
get.
but I
No,
I
but I get.
know
But you know what I'm saying.
I
I mean,
see
I
your
could go
point.
back and forth. Don't get me wrong. I can go
It's
back and forth.
yeah, it's really
It's really close. And maybe
apples and
it's the
oranges at
recency.
this
Yeah,
point.
recency bias. Maybe perhaps it could be with that, and that's fine. But now, so
But
that being said,
let's talk about
we
the
got two
boys.
patty burgers. So let's start with this one. So The Boys, right? Maybe my favorite season so far out of the three for me. It's definitely damn close to that. I mean, maybe one. It's just every season is great, but man, this show just keeps hitting out of the
I'll tell
park.
you
They just
what.
keep hitting out of the park, man. And they give us so much just outrageous stuff. But then again, like Stranger Things, Umbrella Academy, always go back to the character. They don't forget what the show is really about. You know, they can give us all the hero gasm, and we love it. Of course, I got my tickets for next year. I'm very excited about that. But for Comic Con, but
It's you and the token people.
that's all good. We got the Eyes Wide Shut theme this year. But but yeah, they always go back to the characters, and Mother's Milk and with the daughter really worked, and the butcher and his brother
Dude,
that really
Soldier
worked.
Boy and the Homelander relationship. You want to talk about
Yeah,
relationships?
it's a F fucked
Oh,
up one, but that's what the show does.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the stuff they did with Maeve, which
Yeah,
or even I would have bet dollars to donuts that I thought A Train was going to die this season, and they twisted him in a direction I did not see
yeah,
coming. I was like, wow,
yeah. When they
that's
killed what's the guy's face? I forget his name.
a blue
Blue
streak.
Streak. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, there's something about the show, and again, Moni nitpicks. Is a key. They don't like Latinos on this show apparently, but that's fine. It isn't. Just saying, whatever it's worth. I want to get into it. Go Sloan. But yeah, but he got his storyline with the brother and all. Everyone got their due, right? Even Black Noir. I love what they did with Black Noir
Dude, what?
with the cartoon. That was fantastic,
That
and
was that was a hysterically
yeah,
sad
it
moment.
really
Like
was. Yeah, it really is. If you think about it, yeah,
because like you're enjoying the whole cartoon until that one shot where he's just in the room and there's nothing
yeah.
there, and you're like, oh, it's all in his head. Like
Right,
there
of
is
course.
no, but to see how creepy it looks when the cartoons aren't
Yeah,
there, and he's still like, I was like, oh, dude, that is,
yeah, of
yeah,
course. Yeah,
okay, you're broken.
yeah, well,
There's
he's definitely broken now.
yeah, you are a box of broken glass.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
never gonna put together. It's like,
Homelander took care of
yeah,
that. So
uh
and
huh.
Homelander who's fucking awesome. I mean, just I don't know what to say. I remember talking to my girlfriend. He's like, "Who thinks he's gonna die?" Homelander's like, "If Homelander dies, with the biggest mistake in TV history, you can't do it. He
You know
has to
what? I
continue because he's
disagree.
just so good. He's
I
just so good.
I disagree. You got to kill
I
Homelander.
think you
I would
eventually
have
you
liked.
do, but not this season. I'm saying like this
You
last
know what I would
episode.
have
If you were
liked?
that, I'd be like, "Oh, too soon."
My
We're
my
not done with him yet.
one my one thing that I was hoping they were gonna do is I thought Soldier Boy was gonna take away Homelander's powers,
Mhm.
and then he would have still sided with his dad, and then Homelander would have manipulated his dad into becoming his tool. So taking the role reversal of power away from his dad, like I control you now, and you're not even aware of
Yeah,
it.
I don't think
I would have liked
Homelander's.
something
Yeah,
like
he's not that
that a little
smart to
more.
do that. He's not his right frame of mind. He's a little kooky. I don't think that would have worked. Which is
Exactly.
why I'm glad leave him alive at least for a season, whatever. And then because now obviously season 4 is gonna be him. We got the son now who sided with him, which is okay.
Right.
Because they Butcher fucked that up.
Yeah.
He pushed him away, and he's like, "Well, forget you." Um, really cool setup for next season. I like. Okay, now we know what we're gonna deal with, and what's her face, the vice president now, whatever the
Yeah, the new Vault president.
blows
Yeah,
up
yeah.
heads or whatever the hell
Well,
is
oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, it hit, man. It just so much good shit here. It really is. The deep makes he's so good. He's so funny. I love the
I
squid,
mean,
man. God.
at this point, the deep is just water dick jokes.
It
That's
really
really
is.
all it is.
He's a comic relief. So I would toss him in there because he's just it's nutty and it's great. But everything worked, man. It just so the show is so good. It really I can't wait for. I know they're filming it, of course, because who are we kidding? Show's not going anywhere. I wonder how many they're gonna do. To be honest with you, I think five would be a good number, a sweet spot for me.
I mean, yeah. If you, I think most series 5 is a sweet spot.
It would be
I, I,
five or six at best, maybe.
and the thing is because the cast is so tight and small, in terms of like the seven and then Butcher's team, they're so tight small. I think 5 seasons you can give everyone a really good arc. If it was like a Lost size cast, I would say yeah you need to maybe do like a 6 or 7 seasons. But at this cast this size, as long as they don't bring in a third party character that makes both of them have to realize, oh, we have to fight this guy and then back to us. I think this is 5 seasons the way to go.
I think it's the way to go, and I think so. I mean, I can't wait. I mean, this show just keeps hitting it, dude. Oh my god, it's so good. I guess harkens back. I wish Marvel would give us this kind of quality, man. Just we don't. It's just it's like damn it, man. We get Umbrella Academy hitting out of the park, and this guy's hitting, Peacemaker. But yeah, so fantastic. I can't wait to next season. Just it's so good. Like I said, Stranger Things. I can look at the tape again and maybe I see Stranger Things by a nail. But it's close. It's close.
Right.
But again, recency bias. Maybe I sit on it. Maybe I change my mind. But it's that they're both fantastic. Let's just call it what it is. All three shows are great.
Sure. Absolutely.
The other patty here, not for quality. This next show is not as good as the other ones. Let's make that perfectly clear. But it's recent, and we got some a big nugget at the end of that show, and that's of course Miss Marvel, finally ending its 6 episode run.
I will stipulate this by saying, is it as good as these 3 other shows? No. But these 3 shows are in their multiple seasons, 4, 3, 4.
Sure.
So they're literally revving on all their cylinders. I gotta tell you, I loved Miss Marvel. I put it top 3. To me, Miss Marvel. It's Loki.
Okay.
It's Miss Marvel and it's Moon Knight are my 3 favorite live action Disney Plus shows. I mean, it was charming as all hell. I got to see another a culture that I'm not really familiar with, and I got to see them at their best while acknowledging the realities of what they did. I mean, that when they went back in time and you got to see the partition, you got to see a little bit of the chaos of that life, and you're like, oh man, that's pretty. Like I never knew. Somebody said the other day to me, and I didn't think about it at first, but I started realizing. They said that episode in the partition for Miss Marvel is the Marvel equivalent of finding out about the Tulsa riots in The Watchmen. A lot of people didn't know about it, and when you're watching like that, man, that was chaos. Yeah, it was crazy.
It's really. I mean, yeah, you're right. Added that historical context to everything, right? Which is
absolutely.
Great.
But still making it personal.
Right.
Still making it very.
I didn't like the placement of the episode. I gotta be honest with you, because again, second to last. This belongs like with episode 8 with the wedding. That's what this episode should have been placed. I hate. We're going toward the end of the run here, and then we're going flashback. We're slowing down. It just kills momentum. And this show should have been either 8 episodes or 4, for me.
I could see that.
I think they could have taken away, because it just doesn't have any problem with the show. I like the show a lot. The 4th and 5th episode, which we never talked about,
right?
And it kind of lost a little momentum because it took all the charm from the first 3 episodes was gone. Right? They focused on other stuff. She's in another country, and I get it. The whole villain, whatever, the Jinn, whatever you want to call it.
I like that there really wasn't a villain.
Well, I know, but
there was some antagonists. They had different goals that intersected against her, but there wasn't like I'm gonna get Miss Marvel.
But she's a villain. Let's be honest. But the point is that right. So either you go all in, or you could have just taken the whole part out, still out of the history, and the show would not skip the beat. Make it 4 episodes. Right.
I agree.
Or if you can add them in, okay, now make it longer to flesh all that out. And now that's the biggest issue is. It was one or the other, right? It's 6 episodes wasn't enough, or maybe it was too much. I don't
Right.
know, but it just that's the thing that bothered me for it. But listen, it was really good. I mean, it gained momentum back in the end, right? Got back to the stuff that I
Yeah.
liked about how the show
Absolutely.
started.
Absolutely.
Like I said,
It
and
it
if you,
it landed
it
really
landed
hard.
really
It
well.
landed
Yeah,
really hard.
good action scenes, and that was really nice. All that worked, and the character. I mean, I like she's so good. I like her. It's, I mean, some of the parkour stuff she's doing. Let's calm down. I mean, that was a bit much.
I
Listen,
You know what?
she hasn't practiced. She hasn't
If
done
you
anything to
know
that, and
where you're gonna land, it's not really
well, she's
parkour. It's
swinging on stuff,
playgrounding
and
in the sky.
I
It's
know
playgrounding in
I'm
the
not
air
talking about the stuff,
because you
the things she stands on, but when
right.
she wasn't doing
Uh-huh.
that, she's flipping out on other things that she didn't create. Listen, she's 16. She clearly looks.
She's having fun.
I'll fat.
You don't have to
Listen,
do that. You choose to
I'll
do
fat
that.
shame her.
So
She's in no shape to do any of that. Let's just be perfectly clear, right?
hey,
I'll shame
but
it.
she was.
I'll shame it all day long. I don't care what people say, but let's be honest. She's not the athletic type.
She's not, and that's what I
Right,
like about
but
her.
that's why I didn't like her doing the flipping around on the light and the light post and the other stuff.
Well, she didn't flip. She swung off
Dude,
of it. She didn't
first
flip.
of
She
all,
swung.
most people would try that will fall every single time. I guarantee you. I promise.
But
If it was
she's
that
been
easy, trust
practicing.
me, everybody would do it.
No, but she's been practicing.
No,
Like that whole
she's
second
practicing
season, when she
landing
was
on the
jumping off the stuff and
things.
hanging off the.
Well,
She learned it. So I give her. I
okay,
give her a
I'll go
pass on
back and
that.
watch it. If there's I see a scene she's practicing that, I'll eat my words. Obviously, it's not because
No, she
I'm
was
not wrong
in
about this. But I'm
episode 2. She's practicing how to jump off of things and
jump
hang
off,
off of
but
things.
but she can't do that, right? All of a sudden, she's a master, and that's fine. I don't care if she can master jumping things, but other stuff. Let's keep in perspective. Calm down. Let's relax. That's all I'm trying to say. It's a bit much.
I disagree.
It
I
didn't
give
kill
her a
the
pass.
show or anything like that. It's just a small gripe that okay, now all of a sudden she's an Olympic gold medalist. Sure, I know.
She didn't
And,
do
and
a
I know I don't want to take away from the
somersault.
hard
She
work
swung
the
off
hard
of
work
it.
that the gymnasts do and people do parkour. It's so easy to do. Apparently, even anybody can do it, including her.
I think you should watch it
But
again. I
for the
think you
other
built up the
millions
moment
of
that
people watching
seemed
the
way
show,
bigger in your head than what she actually
no,
did.
but stop
So
apologizing for Marvel. They fuck up sometimes.
it's not apologizing.
Okay. It's
I
bad. It's bad. Listen, the show's still really good. That
I
doesn't look
just
bad.
told
That's
you
all
that I didn't think Thor: Love and Thunder was that great. It was good, but it wasn't great. So it's not apologizing.
she's doing
Just
things
calling things
Thor
out as they
hasn't
were.
even shown us do. But that being said, listen, it still ended well. Let's get to the nugget, right? The mutant scene,
Sure.
right? Let's because I didn't like. It's weird that they chose this show to introduce that. To be honest with you, I figured they'd do this in a movie. Fair enough.
You know what? I'm glad they did it in the show.
I'm not because like this is still the lowest rated show, so no one's even watching the show to see that great nugget. So that's a problem, right? That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna do this in a movie. It just makes more sense. It has more impact. It was
I
cool
will
that they
say,
did a little
if
song.
you wanna,
That was kind of cool. You know.
if you want to make sure that the Inhumans never come out as a major force in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you take the most popular Inhuman
Oh, I
character
know.
and you make her a mutant, and that's how you do it. Like,
Well, they still may do
F you,
Inhumans. Don't get me wrong.
Black Bolt, F you, Inhuman family. I like Lockjaw because it's a big dog, but until that,
Yeah, and I
Kamala's
think
an X-Men, and nobody cares.
There's
In your
rumors about
face.
Inhumans
Like,
still
it's-
coming out, which is not a good thing. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. But it's an interesting nugget. I mean, yeah, okay, make her a mutant. Cool.
And
You know.
listen,
I
love
don't get
the
what she's
fact
immune to
that-
begin. For me, it was odd, but I liked it. But it was like, okay, it felt a little forced. Let's be honest. I mean,
I didn't think so because it makes sense if like when they were trying to figure out where her powers are coming from, and
wasn't it come from the bracelet and the powers that it
is
has?
the bracelet
I mean,
in conjunction with her mutation is allowing her to do that. I was like, that's cool. I like that because
I don't
if not,
know.
they would have to say, oh, it's your Inhuman gene, and
well, not that.
if you don't want to
it's just
take her Inhuman,
anything. Why is Thor Hammer gives her the power? It's just that's what it does.
oh, because he's straight up
I
Asgardian.
know,
and
but
Jane.
Jane, okay.
Oh, you saw in the movie, he told Mjolnir.
I
to
get it,
look
but I'm
over
saying
him
that
and
when
her.
it gets
So
to the
there's
particulars of her powers, like powers are powers. She got powers because of the bracelet. That's all you need to know. That's all I'm saying. Like it's just weird to add that little ring. That kid's the kid, right? He got bestowed powers and he's doing shit she can't do. So he's not a mutant.
well, he's Norn. He's straight up 100% clandestine, whatever you want to call it. But because the reason why her power doesn't look like his and she can control it easier is because she's a mutant.
Well, no, because
So
he doesn't have a bracelet.
But his mom cast those powers onto him.
I get what I mean. I get what you're saying, but the point is, it still doesn't make any sense. The bracelet gives her the power. So I don't need To
No,
throw
the
in
brace,
that the mutant. It's just it seems
here's the thing:
overdone. It seems
the
overdone.
bracelet,
That's all it was.
the bracelet gives her the power. Her mutation, which they already said what her mutation is. They said the
Well, let's
mutation
assume. Okay,
allows her to
so
control
were
it
you
easier.
questioning her powers at any point before that scene?
No,
Okay, then it's not needed. That's what I'm saying.
oh yeah, you're right,
That's
but you
what
know
I'm
what's
saying, right?
also
I mean, I
you,
get it.
you,
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just saying it's unnecessary. And it felt a little like again, if we're questioning the kid's powers, I get it. Or how come she can do that? We never once said that, except for the parkour stuff. It has nothing to do with the power, just her physical ability she gained because some guy wrote it on paper like an asshole. But her powers, okay, are
let me
earned because
let
of
me
the
tell you
braces.
something.
As no one says, is she a mutant?
I
How come she got that big? They just toss it in. Now we're like, oh, it makes sense. It did not make sense before. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It was unnecessary. It felt a little bit forced.
But there
It's
was a
cool.
question like,
It's
what's
cool.
inside of her that's allowing her control? And so they just give it a name. And
Nobody
she even
asked that.
says,
No, you didn't.
give it
You
a
didn't ask
give it a
that.
title, give it a label, whatever it
Nobody
is.
asked
It's a
that.
thing.
Nobody asked that.
And listen,
That's
listen,
all I'm saying. Like
listen.
it's just that's what I'm saying. It's just odd. It's cool because now it confirmed. Not that we didn't know X Men's coming. Of course it is at some
And
point. But
can we just say now is it cool to find out that there's officially a mutant in the 616 cinematic universe? But this is the second time when they say the word mutant,
mm-hmm.
and you hear the X-Men. I was like, oh man, you know what? Yeah, it's cool. Let's make it happen.
make it
That's it.
happen.
Let's
I mean,
do it.
I think we're still a few years away before we get any X Men. Um,
I think we're probably like a year away.
no
I don't think I think we're closer than we were before
announcement.
because
Wait,
they got it back in
announcement or
20.
movie?
An
No, no,
announcement.
what? No, I'm talking about something on screen, like for years away. All right.
Okay.
No,
No, I think
no announcement. That could be coming up.
that could be according to some rumors we heard. It could be a couple
Well,
weeks.
let's get into that because we got Marvel.
Wait. We got to do
Oh,
the other the
I take it
stinger
back.
for Miss Marvel. The other stinger, which is you see Captain Marvel.
Like that was a okay. I'm surprised because I didn't know they were in a movie together. Oh wait, I did know they were in a movie together. Oh, no, never mind.
I
Whatever,
wanted to
it's
see how they were going
fine.
to connect, and I like the connect. And here's something, by the way, I want
It
to
was
say
a nice
this.
little whatever.
I've seen a lot of reviews of like that stinger moment, everything like that. A lot of people are not noticing. Captain Marvel, she has a golden bracelet
Mm-hmm.
on her same
Yeah.
hand. I think as everyone, no one seems to be talking about that. Like they're like, how did she show up? Like she's got a bracelet, a
Well, I
golden
heard people.
bracelet
I
on
don't know
her,
why people get. I heard a lot of people. Oh, she transformed into her, which is stupid, and morphed into
which
her.
is
It's dumb.
stupid because she's
A lot of people
confused.
were like saying that, and like I think that the showrunner came out today and clarified that along with the whole mutant thing. Does that any of that need an explanation? That was obviously a
Well, no,
mutant
some
reference.
people are slow,
I
and they're like, "Oh, what
guess
is it?"
fair
And I'm like,
enough.
"You got no, stupid."
I mean,
But
it was
like, it
weird. I
looks
was
like
like,
she's
okay,
already
it was
been
pretty
connected.
clear.
So, and I think it's a really fun way to kind of introduce
Yeah.
them and their connection
I mean,
points. I
I
was
knew
really happy
it was
about
so
that.
obvious that she was gonna show up. We knew she was gonna. I
Well,
mean, it was like,
I knew they're gonna make an allusion
oh
to
no,
it, but
I knew it was no doubt
I
she was
like
showing up. Yeah,
seeing the process.
yeah. No, it's but I mean, it was a quick little thing, and the movies, which is good because Captain Marvel by herself just does not work. So adding Miss Marvel, I think, makes the dynamic even better. Now I can
Absolutely,
look
because
forward to it.
she'll be the most charming part of the movie. So
Exactly, and
yeah.
she's gonna totally upstage.
Oh
Brie
yeah,
Larson. There's
easy,
no question, right? So
easy.
it's not even a debate. So that's a good choice for them because
Yes.
just her by herself, Captain Marvel, it just didn't work for me. A lot of people complain about her. I get it. I agree. Kudos to them for putting both together, making it a
Smart
whole
move.
lot, yeah, a
Smart
whole
move.
lot better. So, and I wish more people will watch this show because it's a really good show. You're right. I think
Such a
it's
good show.
top 2 or 3 for Marvel. I mean, I say lot because none of the shows have been great. I don't think the show is great. It's not the level of these other shows. I know you mentioned the season 4 and all that, but let's be honest. Season 1 of this was not as good as season 1 of Bird Academy, and not as good as season 1 of The Boys, and definitely not as good as season 1 of Stranger Things. It just wasn't.
Well,
Those 3 shows from the beginning
you can't
were
put
superior than.
you can't put boys and Umbrella Academy compared to
I'm just talking
it
about
is totally
the
subject matter
quality,
different.
of the first season. I'm saying, right, as opposed to the quality of this first season. Those were just far better shows from the get go. From the get go.
How about this? What I'll say is this: this is a very big step forward in the right direction for where Marvel TV should be
I
going.
hope so. Let's see. I hope so. We don't know. We'll
Sure.
see. I think what She-Hulk coming up. Let's see how that does. Whatever. But that being said,
Let's get into some
the
rumors. Some Marvel.
bottom bun here. Marvel. We did a Marvel sandwich here, so we got Marvel, right? So yes, a lot of stuff cooking in the Marvel, I guess, lab, if you will. We got what, a week and a half to Comic Con? Actually, a week to
Week and a
Comic Con.
half.
No, it's a week. It starts Thursday. It actually starts Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
Thursday starts. So it's a week. We know they're gonna be there probably Saturday, of
Which, by
course,
the
Hall
way,
H.
quick shout out, friend of the show, Peter Santa Maria
Yes.
will be there at San Diego Comic Con. Attack Peter. If you're there, go get your stuff signed, buy stuff from him, tell him that you will listen to Nerdsplaining, and he'll just look at you and go, "Don't make fun of my height," and then you make fun of his height, and then we all high five. But Peter, you're awesome. We love you. Hope you have a great con, and don't forget to check him out where you're
Yeah,
there.
my brother might say he's gonna be on Comic Con this year, so he's gonna have a good time,
Okay.
bastard. But yeah, Marvel, no, they're gonna be there. It was a last minute edition, and there's a lot of rumors. And I'll start with one that's. Let's start with this one because I wanted to mention this last week, and we had Taron Egerton from Kingsman, and of course
Yes.
Rocket Man and Eddie the Eagle. Underrated movie. He's so good in that. Good actor who I guess had met. Well, apparently he didn't deny it. He met with Marvel, has met with Marvel about the potential of being Wolverine. Okay, and there's a picture. So and that's funny. I have him in the mind because it's a show that came out on Apple Plus that he's in. He's really good, and dude, he is jacked in this
Really?
show. I mean, he's ripped. He really is. I mean, kudos to him, right? I mean, he's not Hemsworth level, who is
Right.
maybe The Rock, but man, he's jacked
Is
up.
he
He's
is he
bit.
is he Hugh Jackman level jacked?
I would say it's hard to take. Cause I know Hugh Jackman's a little bit bigger. Edgerton's a little smaller. I think.
But no, I'm talking about like stature, but I'm talking about like stockiness. Is he
Yeah,
does he
I
look
think so. It's close. Well, no, Hugh Jackson's a little bit bigger, particularly in the later Logan. Initially, when he first came out, I think Edgerton looks
right?
better now than when Logan did when he first came.
Okay.
When he came out.
Hugh
I
Jackman.
mean, yeah, he's ripped. I
Okay.
mean, ripped. I don't think Hugh Jackman was ripped in the first one.
No,
He was. He was
he
big.
didn't
He got
get
ripped by
super
I think by
ripped
like Days
until
of Future
he got
Past. Yeah.
he got bulky in X Men
Yeah,
2,
he
but
did.
he got ripped in the Wolverine.
Yes,
The
that's what I'm
Wolverine,
saying.
he
Those
was
he was ripped, right?
ripped.
So Edgerton looks better now, starting off,
Uh
but
huh.
he's ripped. Dude.
Okay.
Kudos
Fair.
to him. So it makes sense. Do you? I mean, I don't know if that's true. We'll see if it's true or not. I don't know. But do you like that? If he's cast,
Listen. Ever since when I first found out that Hugh Jackman, whose performance in Wolverine was fantastic, but his background was a song and dance man, I'm like, get those Broadway kids to the X Men, whoever that is. They are fantastic, and I want more. And Egerton is a song and dance guy.
he
He's the voice of the teen gorilla in Sing 2. Like that kid is a song and dance kid, but he knows how to fight because you've seen him in the Kingsman. So
I think
I'm
it's a
good with
really good
that.
choice because he's a very good actor. He's really good.
Yeah, and you know what?
He's the right
For
age.
comic book fans, everyone knows Wolverine's supposed to be 5'3".
Well, that's true.
So
Everybody complained when Hugh Jackman was cast. Oh my
so
god.
so and Egerton apparently is like 5'9", which is my height. So if I could be like, first of all, when Fat Thor came out, I was like, finally a superhero who
For
sees
us,
me.
for us.
And now it's gonna be now thinking like, oh, you know what? It's gonna be a superhero that's my height as well. Man, if they could just do Fat Wolverine, I'm in. I have the perfect cosplay.
That would be
But yeah,
interesting. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, and so that's one thing. But there's a lot of stuff that's coming out. A lot of it's unconfirmed. I did get some interesting info, which I can't share. The guy told me not to say anything, so I won't say anything. So I kind of know what's going to be announced. Some things in either D23 and or Comic Con.
oh really?
Yeah.
So you got to tell me after we finish recording
Yeah,
because I don't
well,
know
I'm not
this.
saying anything to anybody. I mean, sworn to secrecy. It is what it is. Nothing major. It's not like a huge. It's not like, oh my god, you know. It's not like world breaking news. Like no one, you know, stuff that we probably already knew already. Um, but all these rumors coming out, man. We saw this. You showed me a video, and I saw the video. You know, things like Doctor Doom. Well, I know Doctor Doom was in there, but I did see another one where
There's a rumor of Doctor
Dr.
Doom is supposed to be the end
right.
credit of
Well, no,
Wakanda
well, no, well,
forever.
it's supposed to be in it. That I talked about that 2 years ago.
Right.
But that there's a movie coming out for featuring Doctor Doom. I know.
Heard something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I read that. Yeah, a couple of days ago.
Uh,
I won't say.
Howard Stern.
Well, Howard Stern. Yeah,
had
Howard
a
Stern mentioned that
of
where
it,
he
right.
goofed or did not goof in his little show.
Right.
I don't know if he did or not. It seems like he did, but whatever. He's not. People are going crazy. He's playing Doctor Doom. He's not playing Doctor Doom right now. Howard Stern.
No, he's not.
Everybody stop that nonsense. It's not.
The rumor
ever.
I heard is that there's a comic book miniseries called The Books of Doom, where Doctor Doom recounts his origin to a reporter,
Right,
and he tells them like the whole thing. And so what I heard is that Howard Stern is going to be the reporter, almost like what in the movie The Interview they did, where they were interviewing Kim Jong Il, kind of thing. So it was going to be Howard Stern gets selected by Doctor Doom to be the reporter who interviews him about his life, because Howard Stern is supposed to be a fantastic interviewer who
Right.
like how
Which
to
makes sense. It's a small little
And so I can
role,
see
whatever.
that playing off
Or is it a
because
rated show or
Doctor Doom would
something?
do that kind of thing. Just at the end, kill Howard Stern, and as a message, like it would be like I would love to see something like
Unless
that.
Howard Stern, he's Fart Man again. He tries to defeat.
No, no, you
Um,
can stop. You can stop right now.
just.
Stop right now.
But that being said, so that's a one I keep hearing about Doctor Doom. I'm not sure if I'm buying that. To be honest with you, why would they make a Doctor Doom movie? That doesn't make sense to me. Doctor Doom being in
It could work.
something, I don't know. I
It could
don't know.
work. It could work.
Marvel, I don't trust Marvel and villains. So I wouldn't trust him
Fair,
Doctor Doom
fair.
as a solo movie.
But Doctor
He's
Doom,
like, if he's in Fantastic Four, obviously that will make what makes the
I
most
think
sense, right?
they're gonna, because Doctor Doom is a heavy factor into Secret Wars,
Sure.
which is what they're Marvel working towards. So by making a movie about him, you're positioning him to more than just a villain, because Secret Wars is as much a story of Doctor Doom as it is the Marvel
Sure, but I mean
universe.
they can
And
feature him
so,
Black Panther. They can feature him in Fantastic Four and get the same kind of result because you're building towards that. Featuring in
sure,
multiple movies.
sure.
It's like Thanos. He was in, I don't know, little by little, and then finally got Thanos full out in Infinity Wars. But I could see that more like for Doctor Doom. But there was that Planet Hulk, wasn't there a rumor?
Oh, World War
Oh,
Hulk.
Hulk. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Right, which was supposed to be a 2.5 hour movie, but now they're going for a
For
four-part
series. I mean,
miniseries.
I don't know.
Which, you know what? If everyone is always saying 6 episodes, sometimes feels a little bit too stretched.
No,
4 parts sounds awesome.
I mean, again, it all depends on the story, right? Like what they're trying to do, right? I don't know, but 4 parts. If it's a movie that, because again, we remember Universal still has the rights to it, for any movies. A Hulk.
Do they? I thought it
No,
reverted back.
not the film rights. The character is still owned by Marvel, obviously owned by Marvel, but the
Right.
movie licensing, the right to put a movie out, a Hulk movie per se, is still part of Universal. Which
Weird.
is why
Because
it makes sense to go that TV route.
you know, but here's the weird thing. Usually, the Marvel movies rights have this thing. Yeah, you have to produce a movie within a certain amount of time, or you lose the rights. They haven't produced a Hulk movie in forever, so the rights should be going
No,
back.
it's still Universal. That's been confirmed. I had that confirmed. But again, I don't know what
Okay.
kind of contract they're in with that. So I don't know.
That was
Yeah.
an amazing contract that they get to hold the
That's what
rights
I'm saying.
and never do anything
It
to it.
is what it is. But what they have let them use in films, that could be a deal that they haven't played as well.
Maybe,
Saying, okay,
right.
we keep the rights. You can use Hulk and this side character cameo.
It'll prolong our rights
Right,
while
yeah,
you.
get who knows what's behind the scenes. But that being said, it'd be hard for them to do a movie with the Hulk, so why not do a TV show? They can do that. So
Sure.
that makes sense.
Sure.
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I've heard the whole Hulk thing for like 10 years. I don't know what's gonna happen. To be
I
honest
know.
with
I
you.
know.
This one I like. This one I thought was great. I ain't never thought about this. Maybe I heard about it and I forgot. But that's Giancarlo Esposito, who's in The Boys.
Oh, as
Gus,
Professor X.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I heard about
Yeah,
that.
him
Yeah,
as Professor X. I think it would be great casting.
it really would.
If that's true.
It really
That's
would.
good stuff right there. I'm like, I didn't even thought
Yeah.
about that. I'm like, dude, yes, I like
So
that.
here's my
He's
question:
like gravitas, man. I like that.
if John Carlos Esposito is Xavier, who would you cast as Magneto, the foil? Who would that be?
I know in the rumor they mentioned someone young, which to me is odd. But oh man, it has to be someone a little bit older. It has to be. Well, it doesn't have to.
It's
be
got to
older,
be.
but-
It's got to be an older actor with some heft. You can't just because he's such a strong actor. You got to have somebody with some heft.
Man, I'm trying to think. Who would be great as well, they just came to mind just because of the connection between them. Bryan Cranston.
Oh, you know what? That'd be kind of
That'd be kind of funny. I mean,
that'd be kind of
be
fun.
kind of fun. He just popped in my head for some reason. Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an older actor who could. Not The Rock.
Yeah, see, it's because he's so strong. You want to get somebody equally strong or better than
What's the guy from? Oh man, he was in that show American Gods. Wasn't a big fan of the show, but he's one of the last Pirates movie or the fifth one. Oh, what's his name? He was in Game of Thrones. Oh my God, I'll tell you right now. I'll look it up right now, American Gods, and I'll get his name. God, I can't forget his name.
You know who I would cast as Magneto to kind of play together? The guy who played Tyrion Lannister.
That's a good choice. I like that. That's another one I think of. That's good. Ian McShane. There we go.
Ian McShane, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Isn't he the guy who's playing Halo? Ian McShane?
He's in Halo?
He played Master Chief?
No, 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 no. That's
Oh, he was a leprechaun in American Gods, and I'm getting him
no, no.
confused.
He was
Okay,
one of the no. He's one of the guys. Either way, it's been a couple years since I've seen the show, but him, the older kind of gravitas he has behind him, that could make sense. So I like him as an older guy.
I like it, but for me, I would go the Lannister, the head of the Lannister family,
Let's
Tyrion.
see how old he is.
Or that's not Tyrion. Is it? No, Tyrion
No,
is the guy
Tyrion
who
is
was
Peter
is a
Dinklage.
door.
Yeah,
Right.
Peter Dinklage.
Right.
Whatever his
Peter
name, I forget it. Whatever. The father.
Right.
Whatever.
But the
He'll be a
Peter
good choice.
Dinklage's dad, who he kills in the
Really good
toilet,
choice.
I would get him to be Magneto.
Good choice. But it's funny. The rumors have someone young. I forgot the name, but it's someone
Okay.
young in the rumors, and which to me was kind of odd. I'm like, okay, but again, we don't know what direction they're gonna go with X-Men. I mean, because
Right.
are they gonna go the whole,
In fact,
the whole
from,
Holocaust thing? I don't know if that's gonna become the
from what
play.
the rumors that they're staying, it's not the movie won't even be called the X-Men, called
Well,
the
the mutants,
Mutants.
right? I really think they're gonna get, which I don't know if I like or not, to be honest with you. So with one the subject, they'll want to see the mutants done, or X-Men or whatever you want to call them, in a way which kind of waters down the essence of X-Men, right? X-Men, let's face it, was Farrakhan versus MLK, right? That's what it was,
Right.
right?
Sure.
Racism and then division within the race and all that. I don't know if they're ever gonna they can really use that play here. I don't know because listen, if someone says I'm a mutant, I can do this. Who cares? We've seen the Hulk. Okay, we've seen Thor. We've seen all these other characters.
But
Like, why is being a mutant such like, oh my god, and
because
let's go
here's
against them, and it just doesn't make sense.
here's what I think what the difference is that the Hulk was a scientist who was an adult who
I know,
the
I
power like
get it,
he well no but here's the thing, mutants is anyone randomly during puberty could have a power to either turn a rock into ice cream or rearrange all the atoms in Chicago. So that's what makes them dangerous. Is
well, I'm
that
not saying that I'm
it could
dangerous, but
be
I'm saying, but
anything.
why will people go? Like, why would the regular public? They seen everything, right? Nothing should surprise them. So okay, and so I'm saying that aspect of this
Because
the
it happens
division,
more frequently.
this division between
Like think about
but
look at
it was humanity versus the mutants, right? That's off the table. That's
I don't think
of
so.
course it is.
I don't think it's off the table because what mutants make people realize is that humanity is not the pinnacle of evolution.
But they're not.
We are the back end, and there's another one.
But they're not. They're
And
not now though. There's
the
literally gods have come to this planet.
but their gods are coming from the places. This is showing that everyone is now dead end. This is the next step, and that being left behind makes people go crazy.
But they're behind. That's not something. I'll put it to this way, right? Oh no, here comes Magneto. Okay, I'm gonna fear him more instead of Thanos because Magneto's from Earth.
It's
No,
not
you see
just.
what I'm saying? It
It's
doesn't
not,
make it, and I get
but
it.
remember, it. No, I will not. But remember, what do you think I'm saying? Is it's not that Thanos came from space. Magneto
Right,
is one of many that are coming from Earth.
why would we fear what's coming from Earth when we already know there's bigger threats out there? Like, why
Because
hate?
it's what Magneto. It's what Magneto represents, which is
He's a villain.
he is the next, and you are the last. And that position. It's like when people
Yeah,
say, think of
okay.
the idea of
So
this
let's
way.
just bring Thor, who's with the Avengers, who works with human, and kill them off. There, it's over.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Thor. Let's just get Thor down here. He kills off Magneto and anyone else. It's over. It's a wrap.
Magneto has gone head to Thor and taken him down. So it's not as simple as
I
that.
get it, but
And
I'm
what
not
do you-
talking about the comic books because that's never gonna happen in the movies.
I think it'll happen. In
Never
the
happen in the movies.
I think so.
Thor just easily dispatched Gore the God Butcher, for Christ's sake, who can do things that Magneto couldn't even dream of.
And we've pointed out what made that movie lack is
That
because of stuff like
exactly
that.
Marvel could never. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. You saw Gore in the comics, and he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I get it. And Magneto is the greatest thing you've ever seen in the history
But Magneto
of mankind.
is a higher stature character than Gore in the pantheon of villains.
I know, but
Like Gore's great, but Magneto is a whole other class of
Magneto's
his own.
great. I'm just saying that aspect of it. You got the Magneto, the evil mutants and good. I get that. That's still there. It's not gonna go away. But as far as the humanity, the fear of
I
having
think
mutants,
the
I
fear-
just it's there. The whole part of which made it so interesting. This whole racist aspect, particularly in these days, you're really sweeping under the rug. Okay, he's the kid who told him this girl's a mutant. Did he freak out? No, he's like, hey, you got mutant genes. All right, great. And I guarantee you,
Because no one knows about because right now it's like one random, but when there is now like 2% of the population has these banana powers. Here's the you ever hear the idea of people say
Yeah,
like,
but
oh
it's
man,
happening now. Because I
wait
guarantee
wait
you,
wait
'cause
wait, wait.
the organization is going after what's her face. Oh, you know that, right? That's what they keep saying, enhance, because they know there's
Right,
already there,
because
which they
but
know of,
here's
and they
but
fear them because
here's
they're dangerous to people.
here's what I think you're missing. You know how these people there's been the mental gymnastic exercise of like, oh man, if aliens ever came down to Earth, there is a large portion of the population that would lose their mind
Sure.
because if aliens are real, it questions everything they know about religion, which means it would throw like their entire
Sure.
basis of reality apart. Now imagine if you found out that you thought like I'm this, and now there not only is evolution real, which throws out religion all out of whack because religion is like there's evolution, God made us in His image. Not only is evolution real, but you are the last step, and there's something that's gonna be left behind, and now it's everything else except you. That that fundamental change in perspective will drive a large part of the world paranoid and crazy. And that influx and then the racing that comes with it because you fear what you don't understand is exactly, especially in these days,
Let me
why
ask you
the
this:
mutants are such a really big idea.
Are they gonna go the Holocaust angle?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because if you take that away, that's a big part of what Magneto is and what made him who he
You're
is.
you're you're
Otherwise,
absolutely
he's
right.
just a villain. He's just another bad guy.
Unfortunately,
You know what I'm saying? But that's a
unfortunately,
big part of it. Him being marked.
unfortunately, unfortunately, um, there are more than one genocide that's happened since then.
Okay,
So you could point to any
he's
of
not from
those.
Rwanda, so let's get that out of the way because
Well, no, but
so
like there was
what other
there was a
genocide acts? So I mean,
there was a genocide in a what was it the during the the not in Russia but it was like an Eastern Bloc where they were killing a bunch of like a whole genocide wipeout. Like you can make it that if you make him that and Jewish, so he's going
how
to his
long ago
own.
was this? Out of curiosity.
This is like probably in the late '90s, so it still
So
works.
Magneto's 20 years old
No,
or
if
30,
he was 20 years
30.
old, then he could be 40 now.
I guess, or he was a kid then. I mean, again,
Right.
but that's
So
a,
you have
but again, that's the big part of the Holocaust. What was so different? It wasn't like wipe people out. It was them taking away, putting away, marking them,
right. I
which is what
understand.
humanity want to do. The mutants. You're taking the whole. That's what I'm saying. You're taking the whole aspect out. That's a big part of what the X-Men. What was for me the big draw, right? Was that parallel that it drew between what they were doing, what was going on there at times, and it's still kind of going. It is going on. Let's be honest. I think Marvel is going to water that down. It's going to have mutants and it's going to be cool. But X-Men to me, it's deeper because of
I
that, right? And I don't
listen,
think we're going to
listen.
get that. People are going to hate mutants.
I
I hate
I
mutants. I don't
I
want to see people with powers. I see them all the
I
time.
disagree. I disagree because X-Men is something fight that's near and dear to Feige's heart. So because of that, I don't think he's gonna do a passe version of it. Remember, he's the one who fought for Wolverine having the hair because he wants it all there. He's the one who fought for like, no, we have to keep like this Bryan Singer like to lean into this Holocaust origin because that's the heart of this. Like,
I
I
get
don't
it.
think Feige's gonna water this
I
down.
just don't.
This is too close to him.
Well, it depends. I don't think he's got a choice of what he set up, which is why I thought X-Men, Feige still could have done it, but done an Elseworld, nothing related to anything in the MCU. And then he,
I don't want that. I like the.
of
I
course,
want it to feel like a comic book. I
right.
want it all
But that
connected.
being said, you lose a lot of that because it is what it is. You know, when you're watching X-Men films, some of them were great. Guess what? There wasn't Iron Man. There wasn't Thor.
Right.
There wasn't the Hulk.
Right.
So people's reactions are different. Here, people don't. You see, like in movies, Eternals, any movie. Another alien, another villain. I've seen it already. Where's my hero? All right, great. Oh, here's Magneto. Let's get a hero here. That's what I'm saying. The impact for the audience, it's just
I know
not
what
there. That's
I
what
know
I'm
what your
saying.
concern is. I'm saying from what I believe, just like I thought Moon Knight was going to be a good series as long as they stuck to certain tenets, which they did, and that's why I enjoyed the series. I feel the same thing about this. I think that they know what makes X-Men work, and you can reinterpret the aesthetics on the outside, but the core fundamentals of things that make
Let's
X-Men work, they're not. I don't think they're
let's
going to abandon that.
see. It's just to me, it's just an extension of what we've
Sure.
seen already. It's just an X-Men. They're just other heroes,
Let's see. Let's
right?
see.
And
We don't know yet. We're gonna
well, they're
see.
calling
But
them mutants. I just don't see
I
like
think
if they go. That's what I'm saying. Even if they go that route, people hate them. To me, it doesn't add up. It does not make sense to go that people hate mutants and all that. It just doesn't make any sense. When you like you said, you're exposed to alien all this. a mutant. All right, something else. Great. Thank God we got the
Listen,
Avengers. That's what I'm
listen,
trying to tell you.
listen.
The impact
If
is
that's the
lost.
case,
Impact is lost.
maybe, just maybe, there'll be an inciting incident that causes people to specifically hate mutants, and we just
Yeah,
haven't seen it yet. So
it's already happening. The fear and the people have powers. I get that's already there.
it's
The
there, but the
government, no,
mutants are going to take
but
it
that's
to that
nothing new, right?
paranoid
That's
level.
nothing
The,
new. It's just okay. It's just
I
eh.
think they're going to set up the mutants to be
Look,
the thing that,
Captain
like,
Marvel comes on. Everyone's in the phones. Nobody's scared. It's another hero.
but remember, here's another thing too. Mutants aren't always attractive people. They can look like
Yeah,
monsters,
like the
and
Hulk.
that no scarier. They look scarier than the Hulk.
That's fine, but
That's the
you have
thing.
kids taking selfies with the Hulk for Christ's sake. That's what I'm saying. That the kids are like,
Because the Hulk is smiley and friendly, but when your smile looks like you're going to eat the
I
kids, then no one's going to take selfies with them. So that's what I'm saying. I
yeah,
think
but
that
we're
you're
talking about
not
what
you're
one or two. Most of them look human, dude.
no. I would say if you take all mutants as 100%, there's like a good 30 to 40% of them that do not look. They look
Who they're
like
gonna feature in the
Nightcrawler. They
who they're
look
gonna
like
feature in the movies? Professor
I don't
X,
know yet.
human. Let's just look at it. Probably Jean Grey, human. What else we got? Wolverine looks human. Gambit looks human. This guy, that Cyclops, he's got
Cyclops.
sunglasses on. He's human. You got a few here and there that we've seen. It did almost the bad guys look bad again. They seen the worst of the biggest bad
I
guys.
would like
Howard's
but here's the
the
thing.
blob gonna scare
I would
anybody. He's a
like
big ugly fat. Okay, I get it. That's
I would
fine.
like the X-Men to feature more mutant-looking mutants. Give me a maggot. Give me a Nightcrawler. Give me a Beast. Give me an
I think we're gonna
Archangel.
get some of that, but for the most part, a lot of them do look human. I mean,
Give me an
they're
Arrow.
already off to a good start. Miss Marvel, she looks human to me. I'm just saying. I'm saying it's like okay.
I think you're making a decision off of what you've seen, and so you're
Well, not
underplaying
that's what they're giving us. I'm taking the scenario that
what you've seen. What you've seen. You're
But,
making
but
assumptions on what
right, but
you've seen.
that's like saying you change the fundamentals of what MCU has set up. You can't do that. People are already the audience that people in that world are used to a world with exuberant characters and powerful beasts and giant things in New York. They've seen it all. That's MCU. It's not. I'm not making it. They set that up. Nothing will surprise anybody. That's what I'm saying. The humanity in that world is
I
used to it.
disagree. I think there's a lot more that's going to come out in terms of surprising visuals, and I think
I'm
there
not
is
saying
a
visuals.
tension.
Again, fine. It's a bigger alien, a bigger. They've seen it.
I think
Half the world was snapped away, dude.
I think what they're going to do is there's a lot of like tension in the air,
A lot of political
and the mutants are
stuff.
going to take are
The
going to set the
military,
pace.
people, we want to keep. I get that part, but it's not the same. That's not the same. It's just it's not. All we've seen is the government win. If you're like we've seen in Captain Marvel, like we saw in Civil War. That's what we're gonna get. They want to brand them, label them, so they know who they are. Keep them away, they're dangerous. We've seen it a million times. It's nothing new, and I'm saying, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. They created this world. I just don't know if we're gonna get that, and I think it's gonna get watered down. We're gonna see cool
I,
characters, and Professor X is gonna kill people and whatever, and Cyclops,
I don't
all
even
that,
kill people.
Wolverine slicing and dicing, and we're not gonna see it because it's Marvel.
Maybe,
But point is,
maybe.
okay, great, and that from visually cool as shit. People fighting we want to see fight, great. But the deep, hardcore, the themes of X-Men, I think we're gonna lose because they're gonna introduce this world where it's just like, okay, we got some guy who can.
I disagree only because X-Men is something very, very personal to Kevin Feige and his history, and I don't think he's going to let that happen.
Listen, he's changed a lot of stuff people haven't liked. He's also given us Black Widow. He's also given us Eternals. Listen, Kevin Feige ain't God, dude. He gave us Green Lantern. It's a fact.
Did he do Green Lantern? I thought it was Jeff Johns.
He produced Green Lantern. And other really, really the first and second Punisher, but they all Punishers sucked. So he's not God. He makes mistakes. He does things that just don't work. It happens, right? It is what it is. Ken Feige's not making his ideas. I'm just saying, I'm really scared of what they're going to do with the X-Men. I think it's just going to be watered down. Because if they do that, it doesn't make any sense because people are already used to it.
At this point, we're gonna have to take a wait and see because I'm going off of what Kevin Feige's done X-Men wise when he was allowed to have an effect in it, which is like X-Men 1 and 2, which is X-Men First Class, which is I don't know if he did Days of Future Past, but like in those three, he was involved in it,
sure.
and it showed the love of what
I agree 100%. but he's created a world where he can't do that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He can't do
I don't
that
think I
in
think
this
he
world.
can.
He can't.
And
And if it does,
maybe he
it
hasn't
doesn't
done
make
that.
sense. It does what it makes sense.
Maybe he hasn't done that with all the other properties because he's saving that shift for the X-Men. So, but that's a maybe. We don't know. We can
I doubt
only
that because he had X-Men. He had
speculate.
X-Men 5 years ago. Before that, he didn't know.
But no, because he was already pot committed to all these other things. He can't change it all.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. The stage has been set, right? You can't go back and
But
redo it.
since then, now that he has the X-Men, he can make changes for the future afterwards. So he's not changing it now; he's changing it to
You
come.
can't change the fact that the world has seen everything. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The world that he's
No,
created is there.
once again, I think what you're missing is that he's going to create a situation where the world's perspective will change because of what happens because of the mutants, and that will give us those attitudes. I don't think you can't make that claim that
I mean,
you can't do because you don't know what's going to happen
that's just
next.
villainizing some people. Anyway, you can do that. It doesn't any
But
movie.
isn't that the world? They villainize some
Yeah,
people. So
the
yeah,
reason, but people didn't like mutants before they did anything bad. They just feared them out of the fear, and they never seen it before. And
and then when
they're
some
scared. They're
mutants,
scared of something like, oh, here's a guy who can do this. Oh crap! Now it's like here's a guy who can do that. That's cool because this guy did that. This guy does that. This guy.
right? But when
That's what I'm trying to
these
tell you. It's
mutants are
not a big
saying they
deal.
are doing these horrible things in the name of mutants, that changes the dialogue. It changes the perception. So I think that I think I am
Let's
more.
assume that at some point Thor is fighting side by side with Professor X. How's anybody? And they're just now just okay. Well, we're like these mutants, and that's just it doesn't work.
Well, I
It
mean,
just doesn't work.
isn't that the whole shtick of the X-Men, protecting a world that fears and hates them? So yeah, they would just do
Yeah, but
that.
when the partner, because inevitably they're going to partner with other people, you take that away.
What do
They're
you mean?
just Avengers now. Do you think that unless they're going to have all of them attacked by the Avengers and go that
Well,
angle,
I
I
mean,
could see
but
that.
remember, they've done this before, and I think it's the idea of like war makes strange bedfellows. Like we teamed up, but like they're not us. Like they'll help us, but no. And so
He
because
just
the
did
X-Men and the Avengers teamed up before, and as soon as the world is saved, people are like, all right, now get out of here.
he
We'll
did
stick with the
he did
Avengers.
he
You
did
get to go.
the first three X Men.
The first three X-Men.
Yeah, so he did Last Stand too. So keep that in mind. Another great
Well, I
storyline
mean
by
that
Phoenix.
movie had a bunch of that
I know
studio
you,
in.
you can't. Don't even go there. You give him credit.
I'm just saying,
You
Brett
can't. You
Ratner
can't.
was
You
at the
can't
helm, so it
cherry
was a
pick.
different
You
world.
can't cherry. A lot of good.
It was a different
I'm
world.
sure a lot of things changed when in the first one he probably just put his name on it too. I don't know. Maybe the studio did all kinds of good shit. So either you get credit for all of it,
No,
or you get
there's been
credit
cited what he brought to the
for
table to make it more like the
he
comics. So
produced
yeah,
X Men: Last Stand, one of the greatest, the Phoenix story, which was shoved down the fucking toilet. Mr.
yeah,
Kevin Feige
I
is
know.
the greatest X Men fan of all time, so I don't want to hear it.
But
I
I think, like
don't
I said,
want
X-Men
hear it.
Last Stand had a lot of other things. Kevin Feige was only one man in working in a
And he's
studio system
okay.
that he wasn't the
So
head
why are
of
we
at
giving
the
credit for
time.
the first two X Men? He's just one man.
He's a one man who was able to
You see
help
what you're doing?
target
It's like
specific
Kathleen
things.
Kennedy. It's like saying
With
she's great
with
because she gave us
with
Mandalorian, or
with
she sucks because she
as
gave us all kinds of
problematic as
crap.
Bryan Singer is, he was a much better director than Brett Ratner. So his suggestions was able to have, or his
So
effect
as a
was able to work
producer,
in conjunction with.
could he had a hand in bringing Brandon in?
I don't think
How do
so.
you know?
I think it was Fox
How do you know?
executives made that call. I
How
think
do you
that's
know?
what was the.
How do you know
I
Fox didn't make the call on Bryan Singer?
Well, Fox did make the call for Bryan
Okay,
Singer.
so then do it Kevin Feige.
It did because him and Richard Donner were the ones who put that team together. And Bryan Singer was supposed to do X-Men 3, and he bowed out. And in the last minute, the studio threw Brett Ratner in. So I mean, you can't forget history. Like it was a studio call as opposed to a producer
His
call.
name is on it. The producer controls a lot of that. They really do. You'd be surprised what they do. Otherwise, Kevin Feige hasn't done shit. You can't cherry pick. Either look, he's involved in the
I'm
project.
not cherry picking.
Of
I'm
course
saying
you are.
certain
You're
things.
taking the two good ones, saying, "Oh, Kevin Feige," and then one bad one. Oh
But
well.
no, but like
You see what happened? He
what,
had a bad piece of pie that day,
what,
and he
what
was
I'm
throwing
saying
up,
is
and
what
they
I'm
hired
saying is
Brett
the same
Ratner.
thing
He
we
didn't
talked about.
know.
Now, what I'm saying is
Come
the
on,
thing we
dude.
talked about
Stop
in the
it.
beginning of this
Stop it.
about why Phase 4 has felt weird is that you have a plan, you're building momentum, and then a pandemic comes and it throws in all the shit, and you have to recalibrate. Same thing.
I don't think
You had a plan, you're going forward,
I don't
and
think the
then your
pandemic had
director
anything to
quits,
do with
and you got to
anything.
recalibrate.
A lot of the Black Widow was already filmed, and it was just not good because
I mean,
it
that
just
was
wasn't
not good. You're right.
The Eternals had
I'm,
nothing to do
I'm,
with the pandemic. They filmed exactly what they wanted to film, and that's all there is to it. It just didn't work. Shang-Chi was great. The third act didn't work, not because of the pandemic, because it wasn't really ready in the third act. Let's just be
Right.
honest, right? Doctor Strange was they didn't. Oh, COVID hit. This is erase all multi madness stuff from the movie that's called Multi World Multi Madness. No, there's nothing there that COVID affected other than timing. Other than that, nothing. I don't want to hear it. Kevin Feige, listen, you take the good with the bad. Kevin Feige is the greatest thing of all time. When he makes Eternals, you say he's got to take the heat for that too. When he makes Black Widow,
Sure.
he's involved. You
Absolutely.
can't cherry
He,
pick.
he gets all the heat for Black Widow.
Yeah,
He
and
gets
he
all
gets
the heat
all
for
the heat
Black
for the
Widow.
Last Stand. Or he gets no credit for the first two X-Men. You can't have it both ways.
I,
Either he gets
I,
something or he gets none. You
I
can't
feel
say because
like you got to take everything on a case by case
no,
basis,
no, you
and you
no,
can't.
you
It can't be a
don't.
blanket
No,
rule
you
to everything.
don't.
It's case by
Well,
case.
listen, he's
Because if that's
his name's on
according to
it.
you, according to you, we have to give all the credit to Kathleen Kennedy for the
I,
Mandalorian, and we know
I
that's
told you
not
that. I said
true.
that from the beginning. So I'll give her. I told you that. I'll give credit to Captain Kennedy. It's under her watch. It is what it is. However, when you have one good thing and the rest is shitty, like Kevin Feige, right? 2 out of 3 X-Men. Okay, listen, he still was more good than bad, right? I'm not saying Kevin Feige is a bad producer. He just sucked in the Last Stand, and he's got to take the heat for it. Kathleen Kennedy will take a lot of praise for Mandalorian, but she's going to take heat for all the other 8 movies that's come out that's been subpar and not being nice. And Boba Fett.
Oh,
Otherwise,
yeah,
then Filoni sucks because he gives Boba Fett. So which
right,
is it? You see what I'm saying? You give him all the
sure,
credit,
okay,
and you got to give him all the blame. I give Captain Kennedy from Mandalorian. You have to. She's in the driver's seat. It is what it is. Look,
By the way,
anybody can can hit a dart in the middle every so often. You
but
know what I'm
I will
saying?
say this. Speaking of Star Wars, real fast, quickly, we got to wrap
Sure.
up. Did you hear about that fan edit? We talked about this after
I
episode
did.
6 of Obi-Wan came out.
Yeah. No desire to see it.
I watched it.
I heard it's good, but I don't care.
It is what you wanted to watch instead of the 60s. Like you should
Yeah.
watch that. You
No
would be like
desire.
that's
At
it.
the end, there's still a point. For me, it's still pointless. Nothing happened in that whole thing. Again, it ended. It started. It ended the way the Sith did, and ended. What's the difference? Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
It was a much
Could have
funner
been
version
a
of
more
what we
fun
saw.
version.
So,
Sure. Like, listen, a glass of piss is better than a pot of shit, but piss don't taste that great.
this is
You
not
know.
a glass of piss. This is lukewarm water, which is better than piss. So I'll take the lukewarm water, for lack of a better
Right, but
term.
it's still not
Yeah,
good. I'm saying it's not good. It's not worth my time.
I like
It's
it.
not good.
I like it. I liked it.
It's
Just something
it's a bad
like
show. Yeah.
I saw it and I thought I got to tell you
No,
about it.
I've
Just
seen
kind of,
it. Someone told
but
me it's like, listen, it's better, but again, whatever. There's a better cut of Phantom Menace too. It doesn't make them way good. It just makes it better. And that's fine. I'll take that. Nonetheless. But that. Oh,